All right, so if you've seen the recent Witch Queen reveal, you already know that Bungie unveiled quite a bit of information. And one of the things that really stuck out to me personally was the 30th anniversary edition, which features quite a bit of content. I mean, if you think about it, we're going into a 7-month season, which is the longest season I think we've ever had. So there's a lot of time between now and the big expansion, and it makes a lot of people wonder. So, is there going to be enough content? I mean, in many cases, there's barely enough for 3-month season. And so for them to now be throwing in, this 30th anniversary edition, I feel like it definitely extends the season. But in many ways, it almost feels mandatory. It feels like you have to buy this, because if you don't, it's a lot of content that you're just missing out on. And I don't know about you guys, but first thing I gotta say is I love this armor set. This Thorn themed armor set looks so good, and paired with the new ornament for Thorn, if you've seen it, the Taken style ornament, this is gonna go so well. I mean, you can see the Warlock, the Titan, the Hunter even looks nice. I like that Thorn themed kind of hood, looks really good. But I'd have to say, like, if I had to choose, I want to say the Titan looks one of the best, and I say that much because Titans haven't really gotten a lot of good armor as of recently. Like, you really have to go hunting for a good piece of armor, especially shoulder pieces for the Titan that aren't too bulky. They're not too, pro football pads. Like, a nice, clean, slick piece of armor for the Titan is very hard to come by. So this looks really good. I can't wait to see it. But if we go on from there, Bungie celebrates 30 years together, which is absolutely incredible. I can't believe it's been that long. I've been playing Bungie games for years, man. Like, my whole life. Like, my whole life playing video games has had Bungie in that area, in that realm, in some capacity for much of my life. So it's really cool to see that they're going on 30 years strong, which is really nice. But the thing that I wanted to talk about in this video, the main thing that really got my attention, was this. Why did they have to do it? Now, I don't want to make this a negative video or suggest that Ghallarjorn coming back into the game is going to be the end of everything as we know it, because I'm sure when they made the decision to add Ghallarjorn as the main selling point for this, this expansion piece, that they did it with a very careful, surgical hand, because we know the history of Ghallarjorn. We know that with its Wolfpack rounds, it has the capacity to be overpowered, to say the least. I don't even know a better term for it. It is destructive, and it holds a lot of memories for a lot of players, which, for me, it makes sense why they decided to add this into the game. It makes sense. One, it's a great selling point. You want to make sure that just about everybody gets this. You're gonna throw Ghallarjorn into it, and I think it's a great piece of content. But the question that I have, the main question that I'm wondering is, do we really need Ghallarjorn? And I mean really need it, because people have talked about Ghallarjorn's return for years, right? We've always known that deep down, it was only a matter of time before this weapon made its way back into D2. And although I have a lot of nostalgia with this weapon, I still to this day revel in the thought of first time I got Ghallarjorn, and it was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing, and I love the weapon. But man, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I feel like it's also past its prime. We've had years of Destiny 2, all of it happening without Ghallarjorn, and there's a lot of weapons that have come up, and and while I love Ghallarjorn, I also remember there was a time where Ghallarjorn was the end all be all for getting into high-end content. Like, you could not get into raids unless you had Ghallarjorn. It became a major roadblock for a lot of players who may have not had this weapon. So although I like that it's going to be, centered around a quest, and that will make its availability for a lot of players a lot more accessible, I just don't know if we need it. What's going to happen to Edge of Tomorrow? With Edge of Tomorrow still being in the game, is it going to make it completely irrelevant now that we have another exotic, rocket launcher? And, of course we have Truth and stuff like that, but we all know those fall into different categories. Truth is not on the same level as Eyes of Tomorrow. I feel like Eyes of Tomorrow is very much similar to Ghallarjorn. And when that weapon started dropping in the raid, I thought that had something to do with them kind of replacing Ghallarjorn and saying, okay, here's your substitute. You know, it's not as good, but it's kind of cool. It has its utility. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like the return of Ghallarjorn it's cool, and I'm not mad about it, but I think it would have been just as cool, if not cooler, and more meaningful if they just kept it back in D1 where it was. Because there's something to be said about a weapon that was as popular, powerful, as impactful in the community as Ghallarjorn, and have it stay in its heyday. You know, to bring it back, and now if it comes back and it's not as good as it was, not even close, like when Vex dropped, Vex was not as good as it was back in D1. And of course, I'm sure they did that on purpose because they didn't want it to drop overpowered. And I'm sure they'll do the same thing with Ghallarjorn. When Ghallarjorn drops, I'm sure it's going to drop not nearly as good as it was. And that's going to sully a lot of players' memories because, you know, there's some weapons you want to come back, and it's fine if they bring it back to D2. There's weapons that are just this impactful that if it comes back, you're like, I don't know. It doesn't taste the same. You know, it's like when they revive a show, and a show that's been going for a long time, and they bring it back and it's not nearly as good as it was. You know, that it hurts because you're like, man, they should have just left it alone, leave it in the vault where it stayed beautiful, and the memories in our minds are as good as they've ever been. But, you know, either way, I guess it's going to be something worth seeing, worth checking out if this weapon is really going to be a thing. But I don't know. I'll see. I'm excited. I'm excited. And it's going to have a catalyst. I don't know. I would be interested to see if they release it regular without Wolfpack rounds, and then maybe the catalyst gives it Wolfpack rounds or maybe more power or something like that. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But moving on from there, we have a lot of 30th anniversary, you know, goodies that you can get, exclusive ornament sets. I kind of like these. These are kind of dope. I think, once again, I think the Titan one looks like one of the best. The Hunter one obviously looks pretty cool too. I don't know what is happening here with this Doctor Strange looking kind of warlock here. But hey, you know, if that, you know, I'm sure if you put the right shaders on, maybe it has an ability to look okay, but my man looks like a Coke bottle right now. That's all I'm gonna say about that. And then there it is, the Thorn set. The Thorn set is looking real mean. This is the set I'm most excited about. This is the set that I think is a big selling point, because I think you have to get the 30th anniversary edition to even get this. So it's definitely going to be good. It'll be exciting if it's behind a dungeon or something like that. You could even put this in, I don't know, Shattered Throne or something like that would be cool. Give a reason to run that. Same with what they're doing with the weapons being thrown into Prophecy. So I don't know. There's so much to be excited about right now in the world of Destiny, and the 30th anniversary collection is just to me, I feel like a great, you know, great moment to celebrate what Bungie has done. You know, 7 of those 30 years has been dedicated to Destiny, and I feel like with what I've seen with the Witch Queen, I feel like we're just getting started. So that's all for me in this video. So, you know, I want to do these little short kind of discussion videos on, you know, on Destiny and Bungie and stuff like that, because I really love talking about this game. So if you enjoy the content, be sure to drop a like on this video, maybe even subscribe if you really want to see more. There will definitely be more coming from me in the future as we continue diving into a game that we all know and love. And man, I'm excited. The 30th anniversary edition, I think, is going to be a nice little bit of content in a time where there's going to be a lot of time passing between here and Witch Queen. So thank you guys so much for stopping by. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the content. Like I said, if you did, drop a like on this video. And until then, I hope you're safe. I hope you're doing well. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.